Hello, everyone. Welcome to Here He Goes Again's first official live stream. Now, can I just check everyone's mics is working?
Yeah, I'm here.
Aye.
And you're here. Perfect. So, I'd like to thank everyone who has supported the channel recently. I know it's most of you all came from expats and Simon Says to come to this channel, and I do appreciate you for coming onto here. And now I'm starting to try something new with live streaming on possibly every week, but see how it goes. And I'm actually joined today by two extra guests, Charlie and Razz. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Now, I know you guys are going to be doing your show tomorrow, so this is kind of like a precursor to that one. And this show is basically going to be covering probably anything from political situation in the UK, where I am based and where we are all based, to what's actually going to be happening tomorrow, where is the US general election that's been going on. And I'll tell you, there has not been a shortage of fun to watch from that whole clown show. So, can I just get the guests to introduce yourselves? Anyone?
I think you should go first, Razz.
Do you reckon? Right. Yes. Hello. I'm Razz. If you type in project_Razzmatazz, project with a K, no, yes, then it'll show up on YouTube. And yeah, we do live streams sometimes. But yeah, that's about it. Johnny?
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm Razz's co-host for his streams, and I'm there to bring the IQ level of the stream down by an average of about 20.
So
like
you
comedic relief.
You're comedic relief. And I'll try and put the IQ back up 1% if it can go that far. So, elections around the corner, guys. How do you guys think it's been going in general before we start playing biasness and so on? How do we find the general election just been going on?
I think we've seen probably the best election campaign in American history in Donald Trump's campaign.
Right. What makes you say that?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to think of all the the recognizable things. You know, I mean, there was the McDonald's, there was the shooting, there was the other assassination attempt. There was the garbage thing where he dressed up as a bin man. There was the mugshot, which probably wasn't even a part of the campaign, but it's just sort of retroactively being applied to it now. I mean, there was that to a lesser extent, I suppose. There was that picture of Elon Musk on the stage jumping. I thought that was a funny one. And I'm trying to think of old American campaigns, and maybe Roosevelt getting shot was the only one that could really compete.
Yeah, the only man I can think of in American history, or I suppose in American political history, that could compare to Trump's energy, it has to be like Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, you're comparing Teddy to him?
Yeah.
What makes you put Teddy on? For anyone, they're referring to Teddy Roosevelt, who's not familiar with who this president is. He's quite a badass in his own day. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's just the energy they bring is really the comparison I'm making. Like, both of them are just, you know, they're rearing to go, and they've got so much personality behind them.
Sorry. How do you guys think the Democrats have been doing, though? Because I've heard they're doing really well. They're doing fantastically well. They've got the enthusiasm. They got the joy. And you know I'm leading from a script. No, wait, that's Joe. Sorry.
I actually hear they're predicted to get 10 gorillion votes. Very popular party.
So more than the Russian fine to Google, then.
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't believe how brilliant that was when it showed up. I was like, oh my god.
I was convinced that was a joke article.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Google actually find them of all things. But yeah, when we're coming to the election, I think we're going to be seeing I think we're all in Trump camp, aren't we? We all love the orange man bad. We love him.
Yeah.
I mean, even look at this road to election wasn't the thing I was going to be using anyway, but so even the last few numbers, 62 to 37 for him, 63 to 36 for him, and then that 52, 48. I mean, I'm no fan of her at all, but I think this is going to be tight, is it not?
See, I've got a tenner running on Trump winning, so
Admittedly, I've got a tenner running on Harris winning, so it's I don't know, because on one hand, if it's a fair election, Trump wins every day. But obviously, we know the history of the Democrats. We know what they do. So it's not going to be. So I think that's why it will be fairly close.
I mean, I'm thinking, well, you guys think he's going to win, do you? Or do you think she's going to win?
I reckon Kamala's going to pull through, actually. I'm going to be honest.
I have a funny feeling she will.
I'm too much of an optimist. That's the problem. So I've got my bets on Trump.
That's where the IQ drops. Like,
so, Charlie, how do you reckon he's going to overcome the blatant election fraud that we're already starting to see, frankly?
Well, as we know, Joe Biden is the most popular president in US history, right? Now,
talk about that. Straight to the fucking the first thing that shows up. Sorry, you continue, Charlie.
So, yeah, but we all know that nobody liked Biden, right? Trump was obviously more popular, right? Even more people hate Kamala. She's even less popular. So I'm thinking, even if they try and rig it, I'm thinking there's just going to be so much of a flood of support for the Republicans, they might actually just pull through anyway.
Where do you think that comes from?
Cope. Yeah.
I mean, I could show you Cope very quickly on because we are from the what do you call it? UK perspective of things. So apparently we don't know anything about what goes on over there. And that's why we've got people like LBC to tell us what to think. So because I could show you Cope just to give a good laugh out of you to see how deluded some of these people are. Because I noticed how biased they were starting to get when it came to Trump anyway. Because if I can find the actual thing, it'd be quite cool to watch, see what they do.
I mean, admittedly, I have looked at plenty of polling on Twitter, mind. So,
just where we saw.
But it looks awful for Kamala. Like, it really does.
I'm seeing it, but I don't know, a lot of forums though. Like, it's really tight. That's what I'm finding really odd about it. The fact it's so tight between the two different candidates, it's quite amazing how far they've gotten, to be honest.
If I'm not mistaken, though, like, don't the polls usually like lowball the Republicans?
I think so. I think they actually said that on GB News last night as well, where there was a guy they put on called Jack. I don't know if it's the same one I don't like, but he says people will not actually say what they want to say, but they'll do whatever the posters want them to say. Something around those words. So
Mm.
if people won't, before I'm getting misquoted, the people who get polled won't actually say who they support because they don't want to be shamed or anything like that if they get caught. So they'll say, I'll vote Kamala, but I'm actually Republican. Stupid things like that. And I'm like, great. So does even polling even tell us the truth, to be honest?
Well, most people that answer polls just make it up. They just say the first thing that comes to their head.
So you guys keep talking, it's fine.
A lot of people don't think too in-depthly about these things.
Well, I'll tell you, I was going to say, you should look at the people I'm about to show you. There's definitely no logic being used there, like, at all. Now, I hope also share audio tab. That's correct. You see that screen now?
Oh, I love. What's his name again? I completely forgot. James something, Gaviney.
James O'Brien, I think.
Yes, James O'Brien. I love that guy.
His book, How to Be Light. I mean, of course, I'm listening to him, the guy who has all the correct opinions.
Wait, his book's called How to Be Liked.
No, Light. Sorry.
Oh, right, Light.
How to Be Light. Yeah.
He came off the dick in it, so I was very confused.
Oh, no, it's not him that's got the opinions. It's the supporters. Now, let's see if this. Tell me if the audio works. If it works here. Oh no, there's no even audio for me.
Otherwise,
what would those consequences be?
Essentially, the dissolution of the world we have grown up in.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so these are Democrat supporters, I believe. Are we on?
I actually agree. I agree.
Has one. I think I'm trying to figure out which side we're on here because, well, Jesus. Okay, it's Trump. Right, so this one's definitely Democrats because this guy with the clever hat says he hates Trump. So obviously we're talking common sense here. So, right, here we go.
Consequences are too great to contemplate otherwise.
What would those consequences be?
Essentially, the dissolution of the world we have grown up in.
Do you want to know who I want to win?
I sure do.
Trump.
Tell me why.
I love him. I think I want somebody mean, tough. I want to make it a better place. I don't want anybody holding my hand.
We hope Kamala Harris.
Tell me why that is.
Because I hate Trump.
Just expand a little. So why do you hate Trump?
Because he's a liar. He's a felon.
Who do you hope wins the election?
I think I would like Harris to win.
Tell me why.
Because Trump is too far-fetched.
His track record, his criminal record, that's not a problem?
No. You want to know why? Because he has a set of balls, the way it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a wonderful day.
You have a good day. Thank you very much. Well, frankly, I come away even more puzzled than when I arrived, because clearly, unlike this game, where the home team are 20 points up in the fourth quarter, there's still plenty to play for in the election.
It better be.
So, what do you make of that small bit before we even get worse?
I actually agree with what the first woman said. I do think Donald Trump is going to destroy the liberal paradigm that has been just mutilating the English-speaking world for the last 30 years.
I've heard that as well. Funny enough, I've heard people saying this might actually be the last peg for the globalist elite to actually win. Because, funny enough, I thought they won the last time when they won the election, or maybe won the election, whatever. But it seems to be now they're really shitting themselves. And you see now in a lot of forms as well. What do you... No, go ahead. I'm done.
I don't know if it'd be the end of the globalist order, but I mean, it's going to be a pretty solid nail in the coffin.
What would do it, though?
If Trump wins, I think he's going to come in with a vengeance.
Hmm.
He's going to come in and he's just going to start swinging.
Clean the swamp.
Well, he said he was going to do that last time, though, but he didn't quite do it. But he realized it. He said this on Joe Rogan. He said it was actually going to be a lot harder to do than he actually expected to be. So if he goes in, I mean, are we expecting it to be, what's the word? Are we expecting the same thing again, or does he know what he's doing this time?
I think in 2016 he underestimated the problem he faced.
I think
I think now not only Trump, but I think most people can see like how deep the corruption runs.
I think you've also got to look at it a case of if Kamala does win, then the Republicans are done. They're never winning again. 10 quadrillion Mexicans in Mexico alone, in Texas alone. Every single one of them voting for the Democrats. So I think this is very much the last. Assuming Kamala wins, this is the last election America really has.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep the timeline for this video as well. I think that wasn't meant to be the video I was supposed to show you. This is with the unhinged lot. This lot here. Let's see how this goes.
Is this Ralph Lauren, or have you made this yourself? What was the main issue that swung how you voted?
Reproductive rights.
Trump is scary and should either be dead or in jail.
I guess I would say women's rights.
They're the only logical ones. The Democrats are all the way.
I also have to say, like, the economy and fair-mindedness.
This is the most important election that this country has ever had.
I think he's the worst human ever.
Republicans, I believe, are not being reasonable or logical. The lies, the false narratives, the deceptions. It's absolutely ridiculous.
You think Donald Trump's the worst human ever? What about like Hitler or?
He's up there. They're all up there.
Is this Ralph Lauren, or have you made this yourself? What was the main?
Sorry.
What about Hitler?
He's up there.
Maybe like number 7.
You can tell these people are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. I'll tell you that for short. But
it's just the take. What's the biggest issue this election? Reproductive rights. It's like you really got nothing better on your mind.
Well, I think that's actually the only thing that's been keeping the Democrats in is the abortion stuff, because they believe Democrats. They believe that Trump's going to come in and take the abortion away. But all I've ever heard the guy say is, "We're going to let the states choose." And I'm like,
okay.
I
think they realise that probably a lot of the states probably will outlaw it though, because you are literally killing children. Like,
yeah, but they don't even think they're humans. That's the thing.
They don't think their political opponents are human either.
No, and that's what happens to getting shot. Now, I thought maybe at 7, so was it 9? Nigel Farage is on GB, and I thought Trump might be on with him because he's over there just now. Now, the chances are, I'm wondering if we're going to get... Sorry. Just trying to make this all work because... Yeah. What was I looking at? Still getting plenty of people. Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say?
There was a poll up there at the top that had Trump at 60 odd. Yes, 69. 69%. Well, Kamala's only at 30. That is kind of tragic.
That was 2 days ago, so that's interesting itself. Now, I wonder if there's actually anything on the latest polls, because this isn't the one I was going to use, but there we go. Posts. what was the latest poll they came up with? 9 hours ago, 57 to 42. So, for him, it's interesting.
That's in North Carolina specifically.
I wonder if it's actually on the US. There we go.
Have you just been getting DM? Well, not DM, but mentioned by Donald Trump on Twitter?
No.
Every single day, not every single day, but I keep getting them at us saying like, "Oh, 3 days to decide the fate of America." Like, bro is actually like loving me. I'm actually Trump's top guy. He comes to me when he needs help.
What did you do to get so popular?
Well, I don't know. He's actually just a big fan of the show.
Sure he is, mate.
There was a tweet he made a couple of
Trump is a massive fan of the Wonderland podcast.
He is. He's just shaking every Friday waiting for it. There was a tweet. If you responded to a tweet, he would like post reminders on his page, atting you and saying, "Oh, we got to vote." I did that, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna milk this for as much as it's worth.
Oh my god. I get those messages when it comes to if you message it on his Instagram account, then it shows up saying stuff. Now, this is what I was looking for. Primaries, Amazon. You see that on the screen there?
Yes.
These are all our swing states. Or battleground states anyway. I'm surprised there's that much.
I wouldn't say Georgia's a swing state. I mean, the only reason they got last time was because of the fraud.
Yes. You guys are going to be doing that debate tomorrow about that, aren't you?
Yeah, get Charlie to argue.
I'm not mentally prepared for that yet.
What the legit election happened, and you're saying no to it? No questions asked?
No, I'm not prepared for the debate I've got to do tomorrow.
Can I ask, is the other person quite a leftist?
He's a Tory. I'll say that.
Great. So everything makes sense to him unless you tell him no. Great. Great. I love the logic there. What was it? When I was looking at the states, the swing states, if we're looking at back how far everything's been going on for the last 4 years, I'm still getting comments, people saying the last 4 years of Biden were better than the last 4 years of Trump. Where do you guys think that logic makes sense?
I think they just really like war. I think they look at like the Middle East and they look at Ukraine and they think, yeah, I want more of that. Maybe go back to Georgia next time, Putin. You know, have another attempt at that one.
I mean, he got 7 days before they noticed.
Yeah, it's just delusion. I think I'd crack it up to. Or it could be very rich people that just are like out of touch with the world.
Are you ready to make your voices heard?
So you need to get out and vote.
Do we believe in freedom?
We will make America wealthy again.
Do we believe in the promise of America?
Make America strong again.
Are we ready to fight for it?
Make America safe again.
And when we fight, we win.
We will make America great again.
Sorry for doing that, but
it's a very interesting video because even the end of that was Trump. It was Trump's "We'll make America great again," which clearly shows that everyone knows that sentiment stirs with the American people far more than whatever Kamala was waffling about.
Yeah, I didn't actually even know like what Kamala was going on about at any point. That she was just saying we need to fight. So, all right, okay. Who are we fighting?
I was going to say we might as well start with the little what I was planning to do anyway, because I was just trying to make sure I got the like pictures and everything. But we just got a new, what was it? Final election forecast, which came up from election time, which I'll just share just now so you can see it. Because what the aim of here is on the show tonight anyway is to take a look back at some of the points that probably went through the legacy of Trump and what's been going on with the American system in general, because there's been a lot been going on. You mentioned the wars. I don't remember being any wars when Trump was in. I remember a lot of wars that stopped, but I don't remember anything good that came after that when it comes to the geopolitical English space. Got the map there? We got it? There we go. Forecast.
Yeah.
Just down a bit. So they're predicting Trump to win.
And Pennsylvania is interesting. Actually, Wisconsin's interesting because someone I was talking to who is like a proper simp for American politics, they said Trump was actually probably going to win Wisconsin. So that's interesting that they put it for the Blues. Maine as well. Though Maine looks weird. Maine is weird for elections, apparently. The state kind of gets split up into like sub-states. Very unusual.
I'm wondering why Arizona is actually led, but it looks to be more purple. Because I think we're actually going to see a lot more purple now, to be honest. Because I'm thinking everyone knows what they're voting for. If you are going simp for Kamala or Kamala, whatever how you say her fucking name, or you're going to go for the Orange Man bad because you believe he's right. I think people more than 2016 are set on what they think these two people are. And I'm worried this is actually just going to lead to cultish voting in a way. Cult voting. Where they will literally just vote whoever's in because they're red or blue. Not for actually what they're qualified for.
I mean, a lot of people have done that already for decades.
I know. But I think it's really hyped up now. When you saw that lady in the dress thing, she thinks it's the most important election, so...
And these people think every consecutive election is the next biggest election ever. Like,
I think for the Democrats that's true. I don't think for the Republicans that's really true. Trump is Trump is more of an independent running under the Republican banner. So I don't think that would apply to him, really.
I mean, the Republican Party has just become the MAGA Party, though.
We've still got Linos in. That's the problem.
They ain't going to be around for too long.
No. And what I'm thinking is maybe the problem the Republicans had right at the start is where you had Trump, you had the MAGA supporters, and then you had, the Linos, the old Linos. So you had those three factions breaking off against each other, but then we had an extra problem where people started saying we don't want to be part of the establishment, where there's the donkeys and the rhinos, but they want to be with whatever the progressive term for the Democrats are. But you mentioned the MAGAs, and they're the new form of republicanism. And then, after all that, when we finally kind of figure out who everyone was, Ron DeSantis comes in and says he's going to run for governor, and then he runs in for president. I mean, he runs in for president, and that looks embarrassing across the board. What do you guys make when he did that?
It's too early. Maybe after JD Vance and before Barron. Maybe that's when he should run, but not in competition to Trump.
Yeah. Donald Trump needs his time in the spotlight. After this election, I doubt after this election Trump's going to be running anymore. I mean, the man would literally be ancient. So after Trump, I could see Vance or DeSantis running for the Republican as the Republican candidate.
What? See, at the way back of the time back then, I thought it was really odd. DeSantis decided to say, "Okay, I'm going to put my name in for the presidency," where instead of just letting the people in themselves, just let Donald Trump come in. What do you guys thought the plan was? Because there was a whole drama, even including Tim Pool and all that, with Ron DeSantis war machine camp to even say, you know what, let's not have Trump, let's have Ron DeSantis because whatever reason. I thought that was just so weird why they went ahead with that.
Well, Trump isn't a Republican, so that just looked to me like the Republicans trying to reclaim the party. Obviously, it failed, and Trump did actually win, which is why I think you can just say it's Trump's party now. So you could argue it was sort of the uni party's attempt to reclaim control over the party.
So I'm trying to time that. We're trying to get the picture up as well.
That doesn't make sense though, because Ron is clearly in Trump's camp.
Was he then though?
Yeah.
Why would you compete against a man whose camp you're in?
That's what I mean.
I don't know. Like, I honestly have no clue what the guy was cooking. It flopped miserably as well. Like,
yeah, wasn't there like, because it was just Elon and Trump mogging on him the entire time. And didn't he have like a little thing on Twitter? And then like Trump edited in like the devil as one of his like participants.
I know. Yeah, they did a Twitter live, and it crashed almost immediately. So when DeSantis decided to come in and say he's going to announce himself for the presidency, they did live chat events that you can do on X, and Elon was hosting it, and then it just completely shut down because there was too much people trying to get on, and it just completely failed.
Come on, Elon, why can't you make something that can sustain the fucking users?
I suppose that's weird though, because even let's say if we look at Elon, he wasn't in the Trump campaign for a long time. He's only showed up within the last month or so. And it's weird that he actually was quite a figure on DeSantis camp, and then he comes out, he doesn't really endorse anyone, and then the last month or two, Elon joins with Trump and on stage and everything. So it's a bit weird.
Elon's been getting radicalized on Twitter for a long time now, though.
I mean, he owns it now.
Yeah, and like he's obviously been seeing the sort of crimes of diversity, and he's seeing these sort of lives it's destroying, and he's constantly retweeting them with like just the word wow. So it's very obvious that he has been like seeing a lot of what the Democrats have been doing, which would explain why he's siding with Trump now.
Elon buying Twitter was the biggest victory free speech has had this century.
Mm.
There we go.
Like I can't really think actually of any time where free speech has actually expanded in this century other than Twitter.
I think him owning this is what I was trying to get up, because we're trying to go through the timeline of all the little events that's been going on. And I fucked up the spelling, whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I thought it was weird that we actually had, is it Vic? Vic was good. I like Vic. But I thought it was weird he was still much longer than Ron DeSantis to even keep putting his name up for the election, which I thought was weird. So what do you guys think the plan behind all that was?
I don't know, admittedly. I've admittedly not actually heard much from the man. He seems to have gone under the radar for a lot of it.
I don't even recognize the name personally.
He might be big in like Republican circles, but at least from an international perspective, he's not actually that like noteworthy.
I can't say US politics is the thing I follow too closely.
Right. I kind of do, because I'm interested in how they do stuff over there. Because, funny enough, no matter what happens, I might as well just do this instead. No matter what happens, even if we're not involved, America is quite a global strong power. Leader of the freedom world, or freedom of the world as you call it. But yet on a global scale, on a military effort, since Donald Trump's left office, things have gone really shit. Now, what I mean is things like this. When it comes up, stupid thing. The Afghan withdrawal. I would say that out of everything that's been going on, the Afghanistan withdrawal here was probably one of the worst things the Biden administration fucked up on. You guys have an opinion about how bad this went on global affairs in general?
Oh, I'm just glad NATO is funding our allies of ISIS. That's geopolitical genius right there. A lot of people think it's silly, but the plan is that if we fund ISIS, then they're actually going to side with us. We don't know how yet, but that's what the TV told me, and I trust them. I trust them. So this was actually geopolitical genius from Biden's perspective.
Yeah, has he not forwarded $1.1 billion towards the Taliban and ISIS? And ISIS is now back in control where they were dead 15 years ago. So surely that's all good.
Has to be.
And you can obviously hear the fireworks in the background, or the Taliban have taken over my hometown. It's one or the other.
They heard you were talking about them.
Yeah. They decided, he's talking about us. What are you going to do? We're going to bomb you. Oh, okay, great. Thanks, mate. Thanks. I was having a good day as well. God damn it.
A lot of Democrats try and like cope and say, "Oh, but Trump wanted to do the same," and that's true. Trump did want to leave Afghanistan, but he didn't want to leave the entire military equipment there. That was not Trump's plan. That's the problem. Leaving Afghanistan isn't the problem. It's funding the Taliban. That's the problem. And a lot of them like kind of refuse to acknowledge that.
It was more the way it was done, wasn't it?
Yeah, the issue is that Trump had already set out all the plans and stuff for this for the withdrawal from Afghanistan before Biden became president. But when Biden got in, he changed all the plan and everything, and it all fucked up. And the military was like because the plan will suddenly change, everything had to happen, and it was just suddenly this mad rush to just get out of Afghanistan, and it was just fucking stupid. Like, it was already done. Like, Biden didn't have to change it. The only reason he changed it is because he wanted the US to pull out on the anniversary of 9/11. Which, like, why?
Yeah, because that timed in with 9/11, didn't it? That timed in just before September 11th. And then they left $1.4 billion of fucking equipment to the Taliban. And now they're going about with our weapons. And I can't tell you the amount of veterans I've actually seen that's been pissed off by this whole thing on all fronts. German veterans, British ones, American ones, like, let alone how bad the withdrawal itself was. You couldn't believe how fucking bad they actually did it.
Well,
do you want to see an image of the Taliban today with all of this Western equipment?
Oh, we can do that.
How, Razz, if I send it to you, can you send it to
Yep,
can you forward it?
Yeah. Where are you going to send it?
I've sent it to Razz's Discord, and he should send it to you.
Okay.
Do you want to send it to Instagram or?
Probably best. That feed is live, by the way, from Trump.
Is he live at the moment?
Yeah, that's him on the screen there.
He's going to get shot again.
He made a joke actually about that, because he said that there was window in front of him, but there wasn't window to the sides of him, and that they'd have to shoot through the mainstream media first. And he said he actually wouldn't mind that. And now all the Democrats are talking about how he wants to like gun down journalists.
Oh my god!
He's not that based. Calm down. There we go. I've sent it to you. I've sent it to the group chat.
Right. Okay. Oh, God's sake. Right, okay.
There was an interesting thing of just how useless like Arab armies are, though.
In what sense?
Well, just win a war. How about like fight a war for once? I mean, the Americans like left, and Afghanistan military just gave up. They all just went home.
No
morale and no desire to fight.
There we go. M16s, new armor, new tech, new. Oh, that's a modern AK-47. That's new.
If you removed the Taliban flag, you would have no idea that was the Taliban. You'd think that was the US Army.
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures and the parades they did with the Black Hawk helicopters and everything?
I didn't see that, no.
Oh, there was a parade about how great they were, and just like a normal parade, and it has the armored trucks that cost $200,000 or something like that. Had the Black Hawk helicopters. By the way, Afghanistan has the most Black Hawk helicopters in the world now, because that's second to, I think, the UK. Well, America's number one because it's theirs. I think they're at least third or fourth or fifth, something like that. Because
I'm pretty sure that they actually have the 5th largest air force in the world now, and they acquired that, overnight.
I wonder if I'll just because there's a really good picture of how bad that was. So when you're looking at all that anyway, that probably left a massive impact on the world, didn't it? Like how the world views America.
Well, it wasn't just that. There was also the fact that the Americans just like leaked like the names of everyone they were working with. So the Taliban just went to their doors and just started gunning them all down.
That actually happened. Jesus.
So so that was definitely a message to the entire world that America is no longer in control. Which obviously then leads to a certain Russian, sort of Slavic country marching into Ukraine. And I do think if Kamala wins, Taiwan is fucked. They're not lasting long, because I think we all know that they're not going to do anything.
I mean, they have been supplying them with extra weapons and all that, just in case the Chinese came over.
America won't militarily get involved, though.
This is the list. So this is what they've all got. 33 black helicopters, 43 MG-530 helicopters, multiple different planes, 8,000 trucks, 22,000 Humvees, 640 M1117 armored vehicles, 150 Max Pro mine proof vehicles, 169 armored personnel carriers, 42,000 trucks, as in the last picture, 64,000 weapons, 76 artillery pieces, 126,000 sidearms, and the list goes fucking on. This is what that's what's all been left.
Did they get 4 C-130 planes, does that say?
Yeah, it's a C-130 transport. They cost $500,000 each.
Jesus fucking... How... Can anyone in Afghanistan even pilot one of them?
Well, there was a good video of them trying to do a Black Hawk helicopter. That was quite fun. Did you ever watch that? That was quite funny.
I didn't see that, no.
It's like he's trying to take off, but all he can do is set off the back propeller, but not the main ones at the top. So he's basically going around in a circle with the wheels. So it's just he's somehow able to move the thing in like a circle, but not get the top propellers to lift him or anything. But he can get the back one to move. I was like, great.
At least that's probably a bit of a safer start.
Yeah, and now they've got the full-on... I wonder if I could just show you the... Hopefully that won't take it off, but... Oh yeah, that happened. Ukraine attacks North Korean soldiers in Ukraine. That's just amazing. What was it? Afghan... There it is. Is it still showing on the screen?
No.
That was loud. Is that still showing on the main screen? I don't see that. No, it's not. Okay. Because I won't play the audio, but I let you guys watch the military, military porn, as you do. Let's see. There we go. That is the upgraded military. I'll be back in a second.
Johnny, what are those vehicles?
Well, the vehicles at first were transports. Those are Humvees. the helicopters from a second ago were actually Russian.
Oh, that.
I don't know. They're probably still leftovers from when the Soviets invaded Afghanistan.
So it's like the vast majority of like the Afghanistan military just now of foreign equipment that has just been left.
Yeah, it's just vastly US equipment more than anything else. There's some post-Soviet tanks, I guess. Or some really old ones.
I guess the good thing about having like doing this like 10 days after you become president is that everyone just kind of forgets about it for next election.
Yeah, I guess when you intentionally throw it. Like, he literally didn't have to do anything. Like all Biden had to do was nothing. And nothing would have went wrong.
But that hatred of Trump is too much.
I mean, it could be worse. Nukes.
Give the Taliban nukes.
I mean, what would they do with them? Blow themselves up by mistake?
Presumably, actually.
I'd imagine they'll probably try and like sell it to someone because they wouldn't have the engineering skills to maintain it, would they? And eventually it would just start like leaking radiation everywhere.
Yeah, but do they know what radiation is?
I think they do.
Well, yeah.
We gave them textbooks to tell them what it is, so they should know.
They'll at least know it's dangerous.
Aye, that's the helicopters I'm on about. Those things. They're old ex-Russian things, but we had them as well.
They're my
modern
17s.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite helicopters. They're quite good, to be honest.
They're quite iconic. They've been around for decades.
They're good for what they are, though. To be honest, are you guys like military kind of guys as well? Because I am.
I am. Razz.
Okay, that's good.
Razz only really knows what I tell him when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Yeah, they're iconic, but they're quite good as well. Because there's not so much iconic helicopters as that thing anyway. I mean, we've got the Chinooks. That's fine. There's Apaches, so on, but they're your Eastern counterpart. Would that be safe to say that? Eastern counterpart to your Chinook and your basic military helicopter.
The Eastern counterpart to the Chinook, yeah, but the Eastern counterpart to the Apache would have to be the Hind.
It's quite a beauty as well, though, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah. A whole lot of Toyotas.
They're very good for war.
Eternal Englands gave us a comment saying, kind of glad the election was forfeited in 2020 and 2024. Perfect time for Trump to come back into office. I mean, it's not like that happened, did it?
It was a totally fair election.
Yeah, I mean, who would question that? Charlie? No.
Joe Biden is the most popular president in US history. I don't know what to tell you.
We can talk about that if you want, as long as it doesn't flack on what you're going to say tomorrow.
Well, I feel like I should clarify. So Charlie's actual position is that it was faked, but the debate he'll be taking the opposite position.
Right.
Yeah, the debates are called Through the Looking Glass. So the idea is you take the opposite position to what you actually believe in, and then you got to try and debate it.
I did that with the university in Aberdeen for the independence thing, and we won. So that worked. Because that's still a subject we got to talk about. Because the people are stupid. That's live, by the way.
Every time I go on Twitter, this man is live doing something. It's like he doesn't stop.
Did you
It's
guys
the fact
watch
he's in his late
sorry.
70s and has all this energy?
I think that's true, though. There is energy in this, though, isn't there? There is energy in him when it comes down to the election. Like, he has that energy that I would even say, to be blunt, not as good as he had in 2016 or 2024. Sorry, 2020. That's better. I think he's actually got more energy now than before.
Yeah. Well, maybe not 2016, but definitely 2020.
I feel like after like everything that's happened to him, he's got a bit of a vendetta in him now.
Right.
They were like,
do you want to watch him?
Can do.
Okay.
And the papers refused to write about it as a fraud because they're fake. And it was a total lie. They thought they'd
Can you hear that as well? Decent enough?
It's a little quiet, but yes.
Still quiet, yeah.
Yeah. Just so I can hear you as well, to be honest.
Thank you very much. Because this would, in normal times,
Might as well.
right?
I mean, we're on about him. We're probably biased to hell. We don't have any Democrat supporters, so let's support the Orange Man.
You know, she's using my term now. Do you believe it?
Where would you find a Democrat supporter?
I do, she uses even Saturday
Instagram?
Night Live, they copied.
Probably.
The amount of people are annoyed saying, I hope Trump wins, is just fucking funny. And look at that. Women. The people that apparently Trump hates. Full of them. Women.
It's all women behind him.
Yeah. Maybe that was set, though.
Possibly.
I thought it was an amazing thing, so it got released.
Say the girl in the glasses on his left. She's got a Navy shirt on.
Other past reports, jobs reports,
Navy themed anyway.
112,000 other fake jobs were reported.
So, and if you see my mouse, that's Jesus for Trump there.
And it all got released right now in front of
whatever that is.
The election. One day, I mean, it was 3 days that we heard about it, but we're talking about it now. And normally this would be a disqualifier. This would be.
But if there's anything you guys want to talk about apart from the US election, because I think we covered a few little bits about it. The main thing's tomorrow with your thing. So this is just a precursor to that.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
So if there's anything you guys.
And that's where we're.
Razz has disappeared too. Just disappeared.
We've lost Lazzy. Oh no, he's moved over here.
Damn, back.
Depression with a capital D.
Yeah, what happened?
I accidentally pressed the X on the tab.
Oh, your thing's different as well. It's all changed. I was just saying that if there's anything you guys want to talk about, anything else, I'm happy to move on the subject or anything.
Well, I think
I told the story this morning.
We can both hear it. It's all fine.
In a supermarket with 3 apples.
Trump is
reported somewhere, and it's just like this can't happen in this country.
1 minute. I'm cooking. I'm cooking. Give us a second.
These men who cook. Get the woman to do it.
Charlie's bad at it. I can't.
Really?
I'm actually really good at cooking.
Are you?
In the United States.
Well, I'm the only one who's tried my cooking, admittedly. So.
All right. Well, everyone's a master in their own books.
Yeah.
You can't really dislike your own cooking, to be honest.
That's true. Yeah.
To be fair, I remember when I was in school, I had like home tech thing. I put like an entire garlic on a pizza. I couldn't eat it.
Wow, whole garlic on it.
My mum gave us it and said, "Right, there's the garlic." I said, "Right, fair enough. I'll use that." And I just thought I'd just put the entire thing in.
Oh man!
You're supposed to put one in.
You break them up.
Yeah, but he wasn't supposed to know that.
Exactly. I was set up for failure then.
Did it not seem like a bit much when you're putting it on? Like,
not really. I just thought it was like any other like decoration on a pizza. I first thought it was like pepperoni. You put a bunch on.
What? No, let's see.
It is. So did anybody? Admittedly, I didn't. But did anyone watch the Trump Rogan podcast?
That was actually good. Yes, that was quite good.
one of the things I find interesting is that, like, an hour after that, he was already in like a new state doing a speech like this.
Okay.
And then you get like footage of like Kamala answering questions, like a 60-minute interview, and the woman is just blundering through it.
Pennsylvania energy workers, and she's going to ban fracking.
And something I found interesting, earlier in the stream, there was a video, and the guy was asked why he supports Democrats,
Yeah.
and he said he hates Trump. Now, that is the Democrat. The Democrat has free position. Give black people free stuff, let women kill babies, and hate Trump. So I don't think these are really going to be strong positions to actually win an election with. Especially since they've kind of been like losing the black vote. Slowly but steadily.
Who's that for, the Democrats or the Republicans?
Democrats.
And we will frack, and drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, to be honest, when you're looking at everything he's like what's been going on, it's really fascinating to see the turn, especially for the media as well, for just what do you call it? They didn't. The Democrats knew Joe was not going to go far, and then Kamala comes in. But us who know anything about anything politics-wise knows she lost when she landed the first time around, and then she gave up after she got taken down by the fucking Hawaiian girl of all people.
They want to make a deal, Mike, and they have
there we go.
nobody to speak to. You know,
Okay, Razz switched himself off. Okay.
Great Senate. By the way, you have a great Senate candidate.
Can unmute someone? Doesn't matter. There you go. Razz is back. Yeah. So she lost. She lost the presidential race, and she was known as, when she came to a VP, because this was the height of BLM, she was known as a cop. And these all the same people, Democrats, leftists, so on, are saying go Kamala now. But I'm like, she's a fucking cop. You hate that. The trend, defund the police, is still trending. Kamala even supported it as well. And you're like, you guys aren't even really thinking about this, are you? Not really.
Just vote blue, who matter who.
Yeah. As long as it's blue. This is what I mean before by the culture stuff. I was a bit concerned when it came to all these cult things going on. It's like,
Get him up here. Come on, David.
who are we
Come on,
bringing up?
David. Get up here. Come
on, Davey boy. Whoever this is.
And I'll tell you, I've known him for a long time. He was a winner in school.
He's in Pennsylvania, by the way.
That's good. That's I reckon
He's
it
a
all.
great soldier. He's just a perfect guy, you know. He talks about everyone like this.
Who's this? Who's this?
That's true.
Presumably someone in Pennsylvania who's very relevant there.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I've actually been watching is the Tim Pool cast thing, like the show for the last few months before he decided to say, "Oh, I might not want to do the show again." I'm like, "Oh, great."
We've got to win this election. It's the most important ones of your lifetime. President Trump's putting it all out there. I'm putting it all out there. We need you to do everything you can do to take our country back. We need you.
I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Is that just a campaigning strategy? It's just say this is the most important election ever.
It does seem to be.
Well, they're both saying it.
We saved our country. We got it back on track. We put the
I suppose it's sort of true in a way, because say if Trump doesn't get in this time, he doesn't get back in, the establishment and the Democrats have a whole leeway for the next 10 years. They don't really have a real competitor. The only guy that they're scared of is this guy here. So when it comes to David Cormack, there we go.
The problem is who does Trump pass the baton on to, though? Because that brings all of the Trump supporters over to them as well.
Tom is a great guy.
And that's why I mentioned DeSantis at the start there and Vic, because I was a bit worried where those people were coming in where everyone should have been behind Trump regardless. And it's like, yeah, even if you don't like him, you have to support your main guy. But I guess we were looking at a different world at the start of... What was it? When did Lon decide to do this? The start of the year? No. Doesn't matter. Yeah, last year. Like, we're looking at a very, very different situation from then to now.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find a picture, but there was like 4 main pictures that define Trump's legacy, like for the actual election, and I might just show them here just now.
I mean, they've all got to be from this year, surely.
She's fantastic. Pennsylvania Treasurer Stacey Garrity. Where's Stacey?
Nick Fuentes tried to beef with Trump, but lost horrendously.
Yeah, of course he did. The guy's a fucking idiot.
Eternal England says, I'd love to see Vance 2028, but I don't think he could win. Unfortunately, he's more based than Trump, has ties to Curtin Yarvin and Bronze Age Pervert. That's a name.
Who the hell is Bronze Age Pervert?
I don't know.
I mean,
I reckon.
I'm intrigued, to say the least, to find out who this man is.
I reckon it's Trump this year, Vance next year, then Barron Trump.
Oh, would you put Barron in it?
I think Barron is the next. Barron is the Julius Caesar of the American Republic.
I am awaiting with glee the rise of God Emperor Barron.
I would say maybe a bit between Trump now, Vic, or Ron DeSantis, then the young guy himself.
Apparently, Bronze Age Pervert is a Romanian American, so he's good at stealing. Then,
right.
He's a part of the Manosphere, and he is a far-right internet personality. So he seems pretty cool so far.
And a lot of friends are here. Steve Witkoff is here. He's given a lot of money to different charities and all. He's really something.
Extra camera.
I'm wondering why
No.
all those cameras. That's the innocent right there. And you know, Laura is a superstar. Laura is like.
Apparently makes books.
Shut up. I've stopped that there because we've kind of mentioned what was going on recently. So I kind of want to mention before we probably go back to our own UK stuff, if you don't mind that. We will get to that. What I want to show is this. Donald Trump's campaign basically in the last few months in 4 pictures. If I can get that to work. Please work. Please work. Trying to get used to this. There we go. There we go. And you've decided to do what? This. A bit small.
Sunglasses on them.
I found that when I was trying to look up pictures for him, but would this not summon up the last, I'd say, 5 months of Donald Trump's campaign? McDonald's, truck driver, Elon, and getting shot.
See, it's wild that these are like the 4 most recognizable images, but this isn't even it. I mean, this doesn't include the mugshot. This doesn't include the second shooting. So, like, there's so much more. I mean, it doesn't include when he was mugging on Biden during the debate. Like, there is just so much with this campaign. Like, it has definitely been easily the best one.
That image of him with his fist in the air after the attempted assassination, that is such a perfect image. Like,
yeah,
like capturing him at that angle, surrounded by bodyguards. I forget what they're called. With the blood over his face, his fist in the air, with the American flag, like almost perfectly displayed out. Like the amount of factors that have to line up perfectly for that perfect image is astronomical.
Yeah. I have to say, do we actually know anything more about that whole incident itself? Because I'm struggling to find stuff about it.
The news covered it for like an hour and then moved on instantly. So a lot of the information is difficult to find. Though there are still questions on why it took them 10 days to shoot the active shooter.
Yes. I mean, we're not going to get into that today because that's a lot. But that whole scenario where he actually got shot, fucking hell. Because remember,
we were on stream.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, go ahead.
No, yeah, me and Razz were on stream when it happened, and I can't remember exactly what we were doing, but
We were
Razz
doing a Black Save segment.
Oh right, yeah, and Razz stopped me mid sentence and said, "Trump's been shot." And I honestly, I had like a mini panic attack. I was like, "What?" So what? Oh shit!
And then it happened again. And then it just happened again.
There was a potential fourth time as well, wasn't there? Someone tried to release like a chemical agent.
Yes. There was also reports of a bomb. Like there has been like multiple stories. To my knowledge, there have been 4 attempts, though only 2 of them have been like confirmed. But the other 2, we have the evidence. We can come to our own conclusions, but those ones haven't been confirmed.
I'm gonna have to ask, where are you getting the second one from, or is it this one? Because I've never heard of an. I've heard of 4, but I know of one when he was president. Everyone forgot that immediately, but it did happen. Then I heard this one as the second one, but was there another one after this?
So when he was playing golf, there was a guy that was shooting at him.
That guy, yeah. Sorry,
I
remember that one.
Pro-Ukraine one. There was also a chemical attack at one of these like rallies, but that one hasn't actually been confirmed by like the FBI or like the media or anything. But we pretty much know.
I mean, someone releases a chemical agent at a Trump rally. What are they trying to do? Really give me that big thing.
Are they trying to get more votes? Maybe? No. I know what they're doing. They're trying to get more beer. That's it.
Yes, must be.
I mean, I thought it all out. I mean, the Democrats want more beer. They can't put the Republicans can't produce Pride events, so they can gas them and take the drink from them. That makes sense. Complete sense. I'm joking. I'm just being sarcastic as fuck, but
but no, this single image is like it is this elections image really. Like nothing, and like it's interesting because like what have the Democrats done? Like, oh, they cooed Biden. Is that their memorable part of this election?
Well, they got a woman in. That's what they got a woman in. So that's all the male voters not happening. So that's fun. They got a woman who's prosecuted all the mostly black men for marijuana charges, and then goes on the breakfast show and then laughs about it. So okay, that's all the that's all the black men gone. She says she's she's black, but she's Indian, but laughs about it like it's not an issue with the Democrats. So that's all everyone who's under the tan bracket. I think that's what they've got. They've got a colored woman as the opposition against the orange man here. I know that sounds off, but that's kind of what I think their logic is.
No, Trump is just more black than her. I mean,
Hmm.
what? He's a felon. He got shot by his ops.
Hmm.
He fucked a prostitute. I mean, realistically, he's probably the blackest president America's ever had. Obama looks Norwegian next to him.
God's sake. Okay, let's move on to the Elon bit. Right. So, probably one of the most significant things that's happened since probably the social media thing entirely was Donald Trump getting banned from all forms of social media. And I already mentioned that Elon Musk, this guy here, all brought him, was actually part of the Ron DeSantis camp, and that failed immediately. And now he's full on behind Donald Trump. So I'm wondering what you guys make of the uncensored platform now of X, which is Elon's stance absolute free speech? Is that what it is?
No, I keep tweeting racial slurs, and my posts keep getting like limited of visibility. So no, he's not actually like complete free speech.
But it's like the bracket before you start saying racist shit. It's just that line before you say.
Basically, as long as it's not a racial slur, you're good.
Which is ridiculous. That's all I want to tweet. Like you said, oh yeah, you know that one thing you want to do? Yeah, well, you can't do that. Come on, Elon. Well, what is this? I thought we were talking about free speech.
I mean, if you go and put the Palestine flag and show the amount of dead bodies, I think you'll be fine. Because they seem to be getting a free ride somehow, Elon. The amount of dead pictures I've seen of dead people, I'm like, oh, okay, is this not getting banned? No? Okay.
Like you can actually go on there, just see like people getting like mutilated. Oh, but racial slurs are too far. Okay.
I mean, Instagram didn't like me saying trans people are weirdos, so that was it. That was too much.
I mean, to be fair, because I follow so much military stuff, like I see dead bodies all the time. So if it got banned, that would be like half my follower list.
Thanks, mate. Just tell that for my own fucking channel. No, I probably half my followers, or a good quarter of them, are actually ex-military anyway. If they're who I think they are. No offense to anyone who's actually listening, but I support you. But I think back to the picture here. What we're seeing with Elon endorsing Trump is we're actually getting a very unbiased campaign, especially from Trump. If that makes sense, we're not getting a censored version of what he wants to say, or what he does, or what his campaign does, or any of his supporters. Not forget him. The supporters, they're actually allowed to say, I like Trump, and not get feared of getting banned. Ever since Elon's came on the platform and basically overrided the censorship that was in Twitter beforehand. So, yeah.
Well, I think Elon is definitely good for the campaign. I mean, Twitter does just make you racist now, and I think that's going to be good for Trump because it's kind of exposing like all of the failures of the Democrats. And they can't hide it anymore because the media have completely lost control. Like Charlie said, we because it happened while we were streaming, we broke the story of Trump shooting far before any mainstream media outlet, and they just that means they can't control the narrative anymore. They have no power anymore, so they're kind of fucked now. And I think all of this was due to Elon.
Do you think it's because the fact that we don't actually have a censored platform anymore that we can actually see what other people are saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Twitter has done wonders for the political conversation because it's just so open now.
And the Democrats hate it.
So you're trying to tell me Trump's not for pro censorship then?
No, I can't imagine he would be. That's a very anti-American position.
Democrats are anti, but whatever.
Well, yeah.
No. Let's go into a little bit of a normies theme here. Well, that did come from Libs of TikTok of all people. Right. So, one, we have the picture of Donald Trump that came out with the garbage truck, which was amazing by itself because Joe Biden made a completely stupid comment saying Republican supporters are garbage, and then Donald Trump comes out with a garbage truck. So that couldn't be any more perfectly timed. But also this. Donald Trump working at McDonald's. I have to say, if you're not calling for the normal American working class, he's done it. In these two pictures at least. Well, not exactly the other one, but...
But by the way, I want to mention, not after doing that whole thing in the McDonald's, the ice cream machines have now started working.
Oh.
And that's not even a joke. Like, was it the reason the ice cream machines in McDonald's never work is because the company that sells them to McDonald's would only allow their people to fix them, and they just never fix them.
Yeah.
But McDonald's has gotten the rights to them now, so they can fix them themselves.
Thanks to Trump?
Presumably.
I was going to say, what the hell was I going to look at there? It's like, does anyone take Redacted seriously as a publishing firm?
Redacted? I don't know who they are.
Because they've came up with a stream saying National Guard has been mobilized in election turmoil.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
In multiple states, but there's only just a Leo on the screen, so that's not helpful.
So is this breaking news?
Sort of, I think. Oh, yes, it's these two, I remember. They're kind of conspiracy theorist weirdos in a way. But, well, they've came up with it, so it might be. See, they're the kind of people who went both ends of the... You know, like the David Icke kind of people, and then you've got the extreme blue and extreme red, if that makes sense. So, I don't know if they've just came off that subject, but it just comes up as the headline for National Guard, so that's weird. What's GB doing?
GB News is a bit wet nowadays.
I mean, they talk about the documentary about the king. I've never watched it, but okay. I kind of have to show you the other guy who's talking. Oh, God, you've got to see him. Like, obviously, it's something about... Channel 4 did a documentary against the royal family about something. But you've got to look at the other guy. Like, look at the guy who they're... Two of them talking to each other. Okay, did I pick the wrong one? I did. I did that.
We're proud to be GB News.
Shut up. Not that.
The report was interesting because it was literally just a bunch of communists finding out that you can actually rent land that you own. Like they're portraying this as like groundbreaking news, as if like we didn't all know this.
Every other business, this is a racket, and it's wrong that the royal family.
They do pay millions, probably billions to Ukraine, and goodness knows whatever else cause there is there. So all right, Jack, I'll bring you back in here.
But what I mean is, you can see from here, we're on the stage of the poppy now because we've got the Remembrance Day coming up soon. But regardless what you think about the royal family or whatever it is, you clearly know what this guy's thinking.
I didn't even see the badges on him.
No, I was like, there's the trans flag, there's the multicolored flag with the Free Palestine, and the Ukraine flag too, because they've all got to work together.
And it's the guy at the other side just has a poppy.
Yeah.
Like,
It's literally the "they brainwashed you" meme.
It sort of is, though, isn't it? Documentary exposes tax-free deal struck by King's property estates. Yeah, because the King has property. Who fucking knew that?
I'm really glad that we've got groundbreaking news. King owns property in his country.
Yes. Oh my god.
I personally never would have predicted this.
No. But you know what's even more devastating?
What?
The Saudi Arabia is actually more owned land than the King does in the UK.
I mean, I know they own like Newcastle football team, but I don't know much about anything else.
I thought the rest were owned by the Russians, but obviously not. The Saudis have somehow been able to buy that club of all things. There must have been a deal on. There must have been a deal on where they said, you know what, we don't want this team. You give it to the people in turbans. You give it to them. And that's what happened.
The Russians had loads of stuff, and then the Ukraine war started, and we just seized all their assets.
Which I think sucks, by the way.
I don't like foreigners in my country, and I don't like them money in my country either. So I'm actually pro sieging foreigners' property.
Oh man. What was I looking at? Well, as we seem to have jumped off the American continent into this one anyway, I've had enough of looking at that weirdo. We should probably talk about stuff that's happening in the UK. Now, I don't think that stayed on, did it? No, it did. That's
It
fine.
did, yeah.
That's fine. Because I thought it would have came off. Did one of you guys say something really nice about? Of course, it's Bluken. Sorry, the train. That's all Scotland's Leo network in one picture there. Bluken. Because it's only one company that owns the whole northeast, the whole Scotland. Anyway, it's only one company. But did you guys say something interesting about the new Conservative leader, the nice guy?
Empress Kami.
Empress Kami.
Kemi. Sorry, I got misspelled her name. It's Kemi. Great woman.
Right.
I'm looking forward to the day where she smites Parliament and reestablishes the absolute monarchies of the past. She's going to do it. She's a great woman. I'm very in support of her. I've actually got a tattoo of her on my shoulder right here. I'm just that big of a fan.
I'm just seeing, did you say something on here about her? Because
don't go there.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
A lot of dead bodies.
Okay, don't want to do that.
You're still going. You're still going down. You're still going.
There's annoying black people, so that's one of them.
Oh yeah, Newcastle.
Wait, is this new?
Yeah, this is in Newcastle. I don't even like them. I don't know why we have them here. Have you ever heard of King Allah of Northumbria? Hobby.
Nope.
Well, something he would do is he'd get so when the Vikings invaded, he got a pit of snakes and he threw the Vikings in there.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of had that policy regarding those lovely gentlemen in that video.
I sense you're maybe a bit racist. Just a bit.
How dare you accuse me of that?
I know.
I would never be racist.
Yeah, I know. What am I thinking? Because they wouldn't do anything like this.
Not racist, just don't like them. Yes, I saw that.
Okay. That's not what I was looking for, but it's here now. Yeah, they were. And I think that's more of them. Okay.
Oh, that
Fun.
just seems to be ethnic minorities having
Eff-
fun.
Yeah. I'm actually trying not to look for that, but whatever.
You
No.
can't. You go on Twitter for 5 seconds and it's all you see.
I know, that's what I'm seeing. I'm really annoyed. I'm trying to find Kemi of all people. Like,
Oh, hang on. They all look kind of similar, so those might have actually just been videos of Kemi.
right. There we go. Kemi Bakanoki Buddy do thing. So we love her. So would anyone like to explain to anyone who this person is? Like anyone who's not familiar with you, who this is, conservatives or whatever. Who is this woman?
She is a black woman, and beyond that, I don't know.
Okay.
And
Attempt number
think,
2.
well, I think that's sort of the consensus of the entire country. I mean, she's a black woman. Like, there's nothing else to her. That's her legacy.
I do want to mention that in her campaign to become leader of the Conservative Party, she herself admitted this. She did not give any policy positions or anything. She was just entirely vague.
See, what I found weird was I remember right at the start, even the page I was on by mistake, Turning Point UK, giving her so much praise for going against the woke shit or going against anything woke. And I was like, I'm seeing all these conservatives, even reform people before reform literally won the game. And the general election happened saying, oh, she's amazing. She's actually really good. And now everyone seems to hate her.
To be fair, with reform, it could entirely have been a case of she's going to kill the Tories. Please, God, vote for her. I know that was definitely my position. I mean, look, I was talking to John constantly. I was saying, look, John, Kemi's amazing. Isn't she good? Just begging him to vote for her.
How old is she? Because she looks a lot older than what I thought she was.
I will quickly Google it.
Because she looks like in the mid 40s. 40s.
44. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought she was like mid 30s, but then again, that could. She looks younger in like that little picture there.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. She looks younger a bit. And she looks younger there too. Oh, fuck. She supports that. Okay, we're not even caring.
Yeah, she's like proper lefty.
Yeah.
She's
So.
like open border. I'm pretty sure she's like pro open borders.
See, why do. So. Are any of us ex-Tories?
Charlie is.
Charlie and me.
No, he's not.
It's just me.
No, I used to like Boris, but I've never actually been a fan of the Tories itself.
I think after this, like the last few months, I've actually just despised them in entirety. I didn't read, and I had to read a book about fascism to actually understand how bad this party was in general. And I'm like, how the fuck did anyone actually support them who didn't have money in their pockets? But that's another story for a different day. But when it came to Kemi winning, she won against, what was his name? Robert Jenrick. She didn't do very well with some news that came out recently about Welshman who stabbed 3 children and killed them and stabbed multiple people before I infringed the court on my ass. Welshman stabbed 3 children. Now we know he has created ricin, which is a criminal offense underneath the was it Chemical Weapons Act, and he's done something else. And he's read books about Al Qaeda, so he's a proper Welshman in his own right.
The Jihad Against Tyranny, the book was called.
Right.
Average Welshman.
He's a very Welsh as you can get. I'm just trying to think, is there a good picture I can use to actually figure this out? Because Just saying the name, not my king. I really want to show you him, but he's really despicable. He's not in a he's not in a good way despicable. He's literally the guy who wants to kill the king, and he's literally one of those people who makes content to make people want to kill them. 'Cause he was actually upset. I'm on to about this account, by the way. This one. He was actually upset Kate recovered from cancer. The princess, Kate. She recovered from her cancer, and he was annoyed about the footage that they used to. It was nice cameras or something. But this despicable fuck, to be honest.
Average communist be like.
Aye. Horrible. Yeah. Might as well go. Kemi, back to the Welshman. The Welshman, the news came out about this before the Tommy Robson rally that happened last Saturday. Not the Saturday just past, but the weekend before. And the only person who came out with anything was Robert Jenrick, the guy who's going against her in the Conservative leadership. Now, I kind of want to show people, probably seen this, but of what he actually said about this actual incident itself, if I can get it to work. She's cute. Because has anyone actually watched what he said?
No.
It was actually not hardline, but there we go. I think that's it. Yeah, this wasn't completely hardline, but when it comes to Kemi didn't say anything. But this is what he said.
As the dad of 3 daughters, the Southport attack hit me personally. Of course, the legal process needs to be respected, but I'm seriously concerned that the facts may have been withheld from the public here. The government and authorities told us for months that they were not treating this as a terrorist incident. But today, the attacker has been charged with terrorist offenses, and it has been revealed that he has been allegedly reading terrorist manuals. This atrocity was of immense public concern. The public had the right to know the truth right away. Any suggestion of a cover-up will permanently damage trust in whether we are being told the truth about crime in our country. So Keir Starmer must urgently explain to the country what he knew about the Southport attack and when he learnt it. Across the board, the hard reality of mass migration is being covered up. The public can see with their own eyes that they are being gaslit by the liberal elite.
What do you make of that?
I mean, just a true statement, I guess.
Well, in comparison, Kemi said jack shit. And that's the guy they said no to.
One of the interesting things is that it was originally supposed to be revealed on the 26th. Now, the 26th is when Tommy Robinson's rally was. Now, Tommy was weirdly arrested on the 25th. They changed his court dates the day before, so he couldn't actually attend the rally. And they also delayed the announcement by 1 day, which was interesting. Just how much work they put into avoiding releasing this information and having Tommy Robinson free at the same time.
And also, probably mentioned here by David on X, it's the fact that we're not actually allowed to talk about Islamophobia in general is a bit of a concern. We can't really talk about it here because YouTube doesn't like it, but it's a thing we have got to keep in conscious of. But when it comes to your leadership of, say, all political parties in the UK where Islamic extremism is starting to become a real problem, is it not an issue when you've got right-wing and left-wing parties all singing the same hymn sheet?
Who's the left wing party? Sorry.
Greens, Lib Dems, Labour,
So who's
singing the
right-wing
same
party?
Reform and Conservatives.
Well, I feel like Reform's very anti-immigration, to be honest.
I mean, I meant Islamic extremism.
Well, even then, I think Reform is pretty like openly like opposed to sort of Islamification. They are kind of wet on it, but they do still like kind of oppose it. The Tories, I'd just say they're leftists. To be honest, I've just say they're a left wing party.
Yeah, they're not exactly hard on, are they? To be honest,
Nah, could be better. Definitely some room for improvement.
but to avoid YouTube going hard on my ass about this, I'll go and watch. We're gonna have to look at what, as I already said, Kemi won her thing with the Conservative leadership race, but we have to see what he said. James Cleverly.
Oh, God, I saw this.
Yes, we.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we are going into this. I want a full-on discussion about this. So where is his reply to that? Where's his reply? There we go. Male, pale, and stale. Labour really do not need to sort themselves out. Sorry, really do need to sort themselves out. Because why? We have a black woman. So
You should have
what?
got like a monkey sound effect to play when you said that.
I know we will get that.
That's next stream.
Isn't that gonna go really off every time I put a black person on stage? It's like black woman. It's such a good. I literally don't want to be alienating the black people, but if you're getting used as a stereotype and we see it as a stereotype, it's getting used as a stereotype. I'm sorry.
There was a video that went kind of viral where it was advertised as being from like a zoo with black people. No, hang on, with monkeys sort of like making noises in a zoo. But then it turned out it wasn't actually from a zoo. It was just black people in the streets of like America. And it was so indistinguishable that a lot of people fell for it.
I kind of want to watch this now, but
how I like
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything.
Too much.
I don't. If I say something, it's going to be incredibly racist. So I'm just not going to say anything.
Weak man.
It's fine.
I'm not going to try and get someone's stream taken down, right?
That is fair. That is fair.
I'll get yours taken down if you want.
I think I do that myself.
Oh, this is what. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so Laz, I noticed you commented about this that showed up in Edinburgh. I was actually in Edinburgh the other night where this all happened off. So I think when it was it that said on the what apparently happened on Halloween night, there was this beheaded head which was there.
It's a heat. It's a heat. It's so much heat. It's a heat. It's a heat. It's a heat.
Basically. Without getting banned, that's apparently someone's head. But,
It's a fake head for the YouTube fellas watching this.
yeah. Mistook severed head for Halloween prank when 74-year-old man was decapitated by being struck by a bus. So that's real. That's real. Okay.
There wasn't enough, like there wasn't splatters of blood around the body.
But you
Like,
don't need it on a decapitation, though.
Do you not? I would have thought like there'd be blood like somewhere.
Well, I mean, we don't really want to be showing the dead body a lot because I think I've already had enough. Because I think the body shows up here. if this is true, this is actually a real body, but fucking hell. There. That. And everyone's just kind of walking past it.
Yeah. So is there footage of the bus hitting them?
Well, as far as I'm aware, I've not seen it, but there's people obviously there picking up the fucking head. And where this is in Edinburgh, which was a bit scary when I noticed this, because I was in Edinburgh, the centre's quite all close together, even if you're... This is like... It's sort of underground, but it's not underground, if that makes sense. It's 2 layers on the old town of Edinburgh. So behind this picture here, you've actually got a bridge that's probably the height of the buildings there. So you don't really notice that, and it's full of bars and clubs all the way up and down the street here. So the fact that it even got to a situation where somebody's head was apparently taken off, there we go. See what I mean there? Right down here, this is our party street. Go to Edinburgh, it's absolutely fantastic going out on a night out. Not when people are cutting their heads off, but whatever. But this is what happened in Edinburgh, yeah. So the port of severed head in Scottish capital, and that is where the party district is. And I think, Lars, you actually mentioned something about it.
Yeah, I thought it was very suspicious. It doesn't make sense to me. The story that he was beheaded by a bus doesn't make sense, because again, if you were beheaded by the bus, surely there would be sort of a spurt of blood, but the footage, the only blood that you can see was puddling around the body, which would imply that it sort of like leaked out of the neck. The head was also 170 yards. Now, if it was being picked up, that does make sense. But even then, like the footage we saw, like that wasn't 170 yards. That was a very small distance. And also, how do you get beheaded by a bus? Like, was he like?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, I don't get that
a
either.
Perfect rectangle. How is a bus taking the head off of your body? Like,
well, that's what I'm wondering as well, because they're just the same as your buses down there, and that's a 20-mile-an-hour street. English ones. You know, your local stagecoach, your local. What have you got? First? No, you don't have first. Well, they've got Lothian buses in Edinburgh. So I'm just wondering what takes your head off, though.
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is maybe the things that Charlie will know. You know when like you're in a car and you like look at the mirrors. Maybe the mirror hit him, but even then there would be splashes of.
Yeah, they would
but if
see
he's,
that.
assuming he's driving to the 20-mile-per-hour speed limit, a worst case scenario is if the wing mirror hits your head, you're going to fall on the floor and be a little bit dizzy.
Okay, we're not showing that.
Well,
fucking hell.
It's
Shit,
interesting because
Okay.
the bus driver didn't report anything, so the bus driver seemingly didn't notice. And I feel like if one of your things are broke, like if one of your mirrors are broke, you're probably going to notice that. That seems pretty important to like have.
If you're driving any vehicle and you hit a human being, you're going to notice it.
Well,
That's what I
say
thought.
that though. You say that though. I've seen leftists defend Muslims running down kids in the street by saying, "Oh, it was an accident." He just didn't know.
True. I hope you missed that picture of the body that was there. I hope
We
you
did
missed
not miss
that.
it. No, we did not miss it. We saw it very clearly.
Okay, fine. Okay, hopefully YouTube doesn't notice that then. Okay. What?
Well, they got Santa in military uniform.
This is a land training video.
It's pretty good evidence that we shouldn't be too frightened of the Iranians, right? Because they've used up all their drones, right? They haven't got any more missiles, though.
Is he dressed as Santa on purpose?
Yeah, he looks like the new head of Hezbollah, isn't he? What are they doing? It looks like one of
This
those
is a training video, guys.
to do with the old green goddess.
Some of the training videos from them.
You know what, Mike? I take
I'm getting kind of freaky.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good evidence that we shouldn't be too frightened of the Iranians, right?
Iranian twerk off when?
Right? They haven't got any more missiles, I don't think. If Trump gets in, he won't give them any more money. Yeah, he looks like the new head of.
That's what Mike takes from it. Good Scottish man as usual. Oh, God's sake. Right, sorry for dragging you off to getting someone beheaded, but I suppose it sort of goes into the weird stories that we keep running into, to be honest, because things are just getting weirder and weirder nowadays, aren't they?
I have my suspicions of that one. Obviously, the government have lied about. I'm going to predict that it actually wasn't a bus driver and it was another Welsh Christian.
I mean, there's a lot of tourists around there.
It just doesn't make sense. Like not, and it's not as if the government won't lie. They do it all the time, and the official statement just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not buying it. We'll see.
TGI Fridays files for bankruptcy. You hear about that?
No, I don't know what TGI Fridays are though.
They're a restaurant chain. They're an American themed restaurant chain which have ones in every UK city at least. What's it? The result of the 2019 COVID and capital structure. That could be possible. I'm not leading because I'm shit at doing that, but that's the story. There's actually only one TGI's in Scotland left. There used to be 5. Is it 5? Glasgow, Edinburgh. No, they used to... they're like the... your Frankie and Benny's. You know that?
Yeah.
They're like those. And the only one that seems to be left in Scotland is in Aberdeen. So the Glasgow one's shut. The Edinburgh one's shut. But the only one left is in Aberdeen. So good for us, I guess. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because I think we've done quite well, to be honest.
So yeah, what are your sort of predictions after the election? What do you think sort of the backlash of it will be?
As in the US election, the whole thing.
Yeah.
If I'm to be honest, I think I'm not too bothered either way, but things aren't going to be more positive if the Donald doesn't get in. Right? In my view, if the Donald doesn't get in, there's a high chance that we're going to see a full 48 to 72 hours of media censorship, backlash, misinformation to the highest extent. We're going to get the updated version of what we saw in 2020. Yeah, we're going to get the updated version of that, but it's going to be so much more difficult to understand because I think people are actually going to go as far as, which has already happened, trying to change election results in states. So there's a high chance where I'm seeing there's an idea of a military coup happening, which for Democrats to make sure that Hitler doesn't get in. Crap, we can't say his name on YouTube either. I'm hoping. Well, I'm hoping he gets in and most of the things are going to be resolved. But if it doesn't get resolved and she comes in, I think we're going to see a lot further escalations in warfare in all around the world. Putin's going to go in. He will eventually win his war in Ukraine without any doubt. I think he will. Because all they have to do is hold the line. Easy enough. Israel's going to do whatever it's going to do. Nobody gives a shit because the Democrats are probably going to lose their fan base regardless of what they're going to say. Taiwan might be invaded. That's what my estimations are. And there might be a few other escalations of global geopolitical events happening, but I'm not sure to what extent. But we might see the G7 actually dropping from the, from the BRICS economy. Regardless what happens over here, though, in the UK, I don't think we really care what happens in America, but we should really do. If that makes sense.
Aye. What are you, Charlie?
It's a mixed bag.
Aye.
The results of US elections are important to us because of how closely tied we are to America. That is just a fact. And if the Democrats win, it's not going to do anything good for us.
Would you not say that the death of America is the sort of rebirth of Europe? And by virtue of being sort of sellotape to the animals, we are sort of included in that rebirth.
I mean, I don't think the death of America would lead to a rebirth of Europe. Europe needs to rebirth itself. I'm not really sure how much of a hand the Americans could have in that.
That's sort of the death of American protection, forcing Europe to stand on its own.
That's what I should have said. Yeah, yeah.
Well, for us, that's not really an issue. It's becoming an issue. But the UK can defend itself currently. The rest of continental Europe is. I mean, I imagine the French probably could. As for the other nations, probably not.
The French would just surrender. I mean,
there is that, I guess. But on paper, the French army looks all right.
Why Harris can't win? Trying to think if there was anything is anything to show you, because there was something I was gonna throw in the ring if it would work, but it was the idea of the chance of a military coup to make sure Donald Trump doesn't get in.
I mean, that's always possible.
Likes Trump, don't they?
Not anymore. During the BLM thing, the Democrats purged all of Trump's supporters from the military. The American military is fairly left-wing now.
And anyone who references Kelly and McCarthy, well, there is a video I found on YouTube that might actually explain some of that. It's a bit lengthy, but
COVID was a good one as well, because they just used the guise of you refuse to get vaccinated. But no, a lot of American military is fairly left-wing now, which, while has weakened the country, it hasn't weakened it to a degree that it's really an issue from a globalist standpoint. But obviously, having a propagandized army is fairly efficient for a regime.
I could show you something funny if that counts.
Sure.
You ever watch Freedom Tunes?
I've heard of it.
Right. So prepare for a quick screechy. The video is Karma's polling 100% with Karma's polling 100% with people who vote at 3 a.m. This is the guy who sometimes comes onto Tim Pool and sometimes does his shows as well, but he does his own skits on a few different things.
TV when you're playing video games. So check this out. Researchers from the University of California.
You need to get that ad block.
Sorry, what were you saying?
You need to get that ad block.
Yeah, I know. I'm not paying extra money for that though.
That's free. I've got a free one, me.
You got a free one? Who did you hack? Who did you hack?
Adblocker Ultimate and Tamper Monkey are two I use.
Oh, okay. Right. See how this goes?
Welcome back. With final polling indicating a historically close race, the Harris campaign is hoping to leverage their party's favorability with a key demographic: people who vote at 3 a.m.
Yes, that's right. Kamala is trailing in many areas, to be sure, but polling data suggests she's still way ahead with the shows up at 3 a.m. to vote demographic, miraculously retaining 100% of their support.
Wow. Pretty reliable group.
Extremely reliable. And she's making great inroads. In fact, last night when everyone was sleeping, the Insomniac PAC officially endorsed her 180,000 times.
Wow.
There's
only one candidate in this race who represents the interests of the 3M voter, who will accommodate our need to cast our ballot at 3 a.m. instead of trying to disenfranchise us. Oh. But we won't be stopped by...
Incredible. How have the Democrats so successfully tapped into this group's loyalty?
Well, these are people who can barely sleep at night, so they stumble around exhausted the next day, forgetting things, wandering off, falling asleep standing up. It's no wonder they found Joe Biden so relatable, even giving him the affectionate nickname, Sleepy Joe.
But isn't Kamala too manic to appeal to this group?
Yes, this is why the Kamala campaign is attempting in the final days to rebrand her as overtired. Overtime is when.
Yeah, that might be a bit cringe for you. It's a bit lengthy, but I didn't realize this one was so long. But I think there was one where she did that interview with that's the quicker one. She was on that Fox interview. Remember that?
Yes, this wasn't it called like the 60-minute interview or something?
There was that, and there was
Let's get ready to
and that fucking advert. I'll just stop the advert. Can I stop the advert?
Let's get ready, ready, let's get ready, ready, ready.
Shut up. I'm still one of these people that has to use the Oh, look. There's also... I didn't realize I was still here. Donald the Trump hog. There we go. There we go.
Thank you for having me, Brad.
Thank you.
We'll see how this goes for you.
Mrs. Harris, how many people do you believe have crossed the borders?
Miss Harris. Kamala, please. Mrs. Vice President, it's a simple question.
I'm speaking. Excuse me, I'm speaking.
I apologize.
All right, well, I'm just going to say it. She destroyed him. Oh my gosh.
Right? Oh, golly, he's so embarrassed.
I bet those Republicans are regretting that one.
Kamala, Kamala, Kamala.
So basically, that's it. Not that funny, but I guess if you knew what you're on about, sort of works.
That's actually audio from the real interview. They just animated it.
Yeah. He's really good for doing that as well. Just trying to think, there's not actually anything. We're not talking about the squirrel today, because that's enough.
No? Why not?
Why? Do we want to talk about the fucking squirrel?
Well, I mean, we can mention the poor guy. He was gunned down in the street.
Wait, he was gunned? I thought he was just mutilated.
I mean, they're not mutually exclusive.
Oh, God.
Nah, yes. It was horrible.
Would you like, if you know more than I do about the squirrel, can you explain to everyone what happened?
So this guy saved a squirrel, but he didn't have a permit because apparently you need a permit to not kill squirrels, apparently. So the good men in New York decided to break into his home without a warrant and put his squirrel down. Now, for context, this is the same state that videos of gangs from Mexico keep breaking into and just taking over apartment complexes. So I'm glad they're really dealing with the real issue that are the squirrels.
I thought this was New York.
It is.
Oh, it is the same one. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they just gunned down this man's squirrel, and a bunch of like leftists are like saying, "Oh well, I actually hate squirrels," which I don't understand. Yes, a lot of weird like leftists trying to defend it and saying, "Oh well, it was against the law," which is I hate the legal argument. But like it's the fact that the government just broke into his house and gunned down his squirrel. It's so unnecessary.
It's just evil. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's just straight evil.
He had a raccoon as well, right?
Yes, they also put down the raccoon.
Hmm.
The raccoon got less publicity though, which is weird. I think it's because squirrels are sort of resonating with the right. Obviously, being the sort of the red squirrels are sort of wiping out the grey squirrels and liberating their homelands from the European invaders. The squirrel has kind of become a sort of symbol of the right, both in opposition to the government breaking into your house and killing squirrels, and to being made an ethnic minority in your own home. So I think that's why the squirrel got a lot more focused than the raccoon.
I just heard the squirrel was a right wing gimmick, and it's like that's how pathetic the right wing is because we're getting upset over a squirrel. That's not the point.
Me when the right wing let me kill squirrels.
Nah, squirrels are based. I love squirrels.
Only the red ones though. The grey ones are evil, and I hate them.
They're evil.
Yeah, I'm a squirrel racist. But no, yeah, I don't think it's gonna like.
No, we're going back to explain that one. Come on, you're racist against the squirrels.
Grey squirrels specifically. I'm a bit of an Anglo supremacist, so I think Britain is for the English and for the grey squirrels, and not for the red squirrels. Sorry, for the red ones. I misspoke. And I in the same way I want to deport the foreigners, I can respect the red squirrels' goal of deporting the grey squirrels. So it's kind of like a brotherhood in a sense, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. Okay, I'll take that as it is. Okay, whatever. Trying to think, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, Charlie.
Nothing's coming to mind.
I'm not seeing anything that's show up on my timeline that we talk about. But I mean, it's a good start. I mean, it's a good start for the channel anyway. And
yes, definitely.
So I do seriously need to make content again, though, because I say I want to, but then I never get back to it. But it's my job. It just exhausts me by the end of the day. The reason I'm actually doing today and tomorrow, because I've actually agreed to come onto your show somehow. But no, not in a bad way, just because I've actually got some sort of energy to do it. So think of my job as National Express, but I can't exactly stop and then go and make a 3-hour video once you've done driving for, say Birmingham to Newcastle and come back.
Oh, no one wants to be in Birmingham.
I know. But imagine driving from Birmingham to Newcastle, then come back and then say, you got to make a video now. Fuck off. That's why I'm always so exhausted, and I'm actually trying to be more professional now, but regardless, whatever happens, things happen. But as this is a precursor for your episode tomorrow, would you like to explain to anyone what's happening tomorrow then?
Yes, so it's episode 27 of the Wonderland podcast tomorrow. It'll only be part 1. Obviously, part 2 will be on Saturday. Sort of part 2 is more of a, the sort of outcome of the election. What's happened since. Has there been riots? Has a black guy weirdly enough been shot by police? So that one will be more of a what happened, but the election tomorrow will be starting at 11 o'clock our time. I've started an hour earlier. That way yes, UK time. I started an hour early. That way we can introduce everyone. We can get the debate done as well. And it will be going till either 8 or 9 o'clock, depending on how early John can call it. Realistically speaking, John's my co-host for that one, actually. Charlie's being fired. Too many horny posts on Twitter. So John is my co-host for that one. So he'll be the expert, really. So it's really just until he can say with confidence who's won, which we reckon will be around about 8, 9-ish. But no, yes, obviously, Hobby will be joining us. Other than John, you and Charlie, it's an awkward time, unfortunately, because being in the morning of a weekday as well, it's a very awkward timing. But no, that will be happening tomorrow.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to mention about what's going on in the chat? You said there's a debate.
Yes. So Charlie and John are going to debate whether there was election fraud in the 2020 election. Now, John is very confident on his position. I don't know why, because the man doesn't believe it, so I don't know where he's got that from. But Charlie is a little less confident, though I am aware Charlie has put infinitely more effort into it. So I reckon I can't be too biased because I will be one of the judges, if not the only one. But I do reckon John should probably put a bit of effort into researching it. But no, so that'll be happening very early on as well. And that'll be around about an hour and a half we tend to aim for.
Okay, then. Right, so I guess I'll probably end it here. We've done a good solid 2 hours. Is that what we've been doing?
2 hours, 11 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Jesus, that's not too bad, to be honest, is it?
No.
Yeah. Thank you, too, for coming on to the first show anyway of Here He Goes Again doing the live stream. If there's going to be more stuff like this, it will be advertised. As long as you subscribe to the channel, you won't have an issue, and follow the social media pages. And would you guys like to mention what channel you're on for this tomorrow?
It is project_Razzmatazz. It's Project Halo.
This will be linked below as well. So
Yes.
I'd like to thank you two for coming onto the show. And well, I'll be on with you tomorrow if I'm not too late for work on the Wednesday, because that's awkwardly timed perfectly. Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching the show. We'll see you again soon.
Yes.
Do.